Today,
I just wanted people to hear my side.
in a Dr. Phil exclusive.
A story making headlines around the world.
Was this adopted Ukrainian orphan
Are you a 33-year-old scam artist?
masquerading as a 6-year-old child?
Christine Barnett tells us the girl she adopted was no child at all, but a fraud who tried to kill her family.
She's painted you as an evil dwarf who's going to poison their coffee or stab them in their sleep.
Natalia would simply tell us very coldly and very directly, I'm trying to kill the boys.
Now,
They say you scammed them, lied about your age, and terrorized them.
she speaks out
It's not true at all.
for the first time.
Why did they want to get rid of you so badly?
Christine Barnett is being charged with neglect after allegedly dumping her daughter in an Indiana apartment.
A 6 or 7-year-old child living in an apartment alone for a year? That's just not believable to me.
The questions for her new family.
Were you at all concerned that we could be putting the children that we have in jeopardy?
The Dr. Phil exclusive.
I guess it comes down to whether or not you are an evil psychopath demon child that's come over here to murder everybody. It's a story that some have called a real-life version of the horror film Orphan. A family charged with abandoning their 9-year-old adopted daughter, leaving her to fend for herself in an apartment all alone when she was just a child. Or was she? Christine and Michael Barnett say when they adopted 6-year-old Natalia Grace, a little girl born with dwarfism from the Ukraine, their dreams of having a daughter quickly turned into a nightmare. They claim that with mounting horror, they began to suspect Natalia wasn't a child at all, but a sociopathic adult who tried to kill them. They allege that when they took Natalia to doctors who tested her bone density, it was determined she was much older. They went to court, and Natalia was declared a 22-year-old adult, and the Barnetts left her in an apartment all by herself in Indiana.
Now a story making headlines around the world.
Is this the face of a child or a woman posing as a child?
So here's why this is so complicated. The family says they were told the girl was 8 when they adopted her in 2010 from Ukraine. They claim she has dwarfism and that tests revealed she is much older.
Daily Mail TV got an exclusive interview with Natalia's adoptive mother.
We were told in the medical paperwork that we had that she was 6 years old.
Natalia's behavior also became very disturbing.
She was hiding knives in our couches. She was talking about she was going to kill family members.
According to Barnett, Natalia allegedly tried to poison his wife with a household cleaning product.
She had poured the pine sol in her coffee. She just says blatantly, plainly, no emotion, I'm trying to kill you. I want you dead.
It was at that point that the Barnetts said they had enough.
A mother and father accused of abandoning their own adopted daughter.
Barnett and his ex-wife, Christine Barnett, surrendered on 2 felony counts, each of neglect of a dependent. Prosecutors say in 2013, the couple rented an apartment in this house for their adoptive daughter and then moved to Canada.
The Barnetts paid a year's rent for Natalia. He says Natalia is capable of taking care of herself since, in his opinion, she is an adult pretending to be a child.
That there was a level of manipulation, con artistry, danger, attempted murder.
The Burnetts, who have since divorced, are facing serious charges. They'll argue together the adoption was all a scam.
Is this child a child or a grown woman?
Natalia insists she was a child when she was left alone in that apartment, and she says she never tried to kill them. Today, in an exclusive interview, Natalia speaks out for the very first time, along with Cynthia and Antoine Mans, the family who has taken her in. Is this an evil orphan or a little girl left all alone? That's going to be for you to decide. There's been a lot of controversy, obviously, about your age because of the family that you were with before. How old are you?
I'm 16.
You're 16?
Yes.
When is your birthday?
September 4th, 2003.
Okay. And what exactly is your disorder?
I have dwarfism. It's called dystrophic dysplasia.
Dystrophic dysplasia?
Yes, along with scoliosis.
And the scoliosis is in addition?
Yeah.
Okay. And when did you come to America?
I was 6 years old when I came into the United States.
You came as part of a program, right?
I just know that a family came and visited me, and then after a while, they adopted me.
Okay, so they visited you in the Ukraine?
Yes.
What were your living conditions in the Ukraine? Were you in a group home?
I don't really know what it was. I just know there was a lot of kids, and there were some caregivers.
And where did you first live?
I was in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire?
Yes.
And how long did you stay with that family?
2 years.
How many families do you think you were with total?
I actually don't really remember all the families, but Christine said that I was with at least like 30 families. Like one was in New York, and then some other places. I don't remember what she said.
30 families? Like for a couple of days? And
I don't know. I don't remember being with that many families.
So when you went to the family in New Hampshire and you left there, why did you leave there?
I think it happened because they had 2 boys, and one of the boys, me and him were really close, so we like wrestled almost, but I landed on his arm wrong, so the mom thought I was trying to break his arm. So then that's when she was like, I can't do this anymore.
And when she said she can't do this anymore, what was this? What did she mean, I can't do this anymore?
I don't know.
Had she been frustrated with you before?
I don't really know what it was with them.
So you left there and went to another family for how long?
I don't remember all the families. I just remember this one family that, because I was with them the most.
And what was their name?
They were the DePauls.
DePauls. And how'd it go there?
It was good. Me and their daughter, we were close.
And why did you not stay there?
I think it was like a money issue.
Yeah, and thinking about the Barnetts, when you first went there, were you happy?
I was.
Were they happy with you?
Yes.
Did you feel loved there?
I did.
Feel like you belonged?
Yes, I actually thought I had found the right family after bouncing around from all the families. I thought I had found the right family for me.
So this was your home?
Yes.
They accepted you?
Yes, the first 3 months.
You felt safe there?
Yes.
What was your first clue that it was heading down a bad road?
It was after my surgery when she started questioning about my age. And then, like, everything started happening after that one moment.
Michael and Christine Bernett claim Natalia tried to poison their coffee, stood over their bed as they slept, told them she wanted to kill the children, and even tried to push Christine into an electric fence. Daily Mail TV got an exclusive interview with Natalia's adoptive mother. I wanted Natalia to respond to what Christine Bernett had to say. You've seen some of this, but I want to give you a chance to respond to it.
This was, from day one, a mission of love. We were told in the medical paperwork that we had that she was 6 years old.
Okay, now, in the medical paperwork they had, they were told she was 6 years old. And then they say that you're a scam artist. You didn't give them the medical paperwork. Someone had to provide that. If there's a scam here, it doesn't emanate from you.
Right.
Here's another one.
I was putting her into the bathtub, and I noticed that she had full pubic hair. I noticed clothing in her closet that contained at least some remnants of a menstrual cycle.
Okay, and she's talking about at this time you were supposedly 8 years old?
Yeah, I was almost 8.
And she noticed these secondary sexual characteristics. Did she talk to you about that?
No.
She's been with us for almost 7 years. To this day, she does not have a menstrual.
Not one.
Christine did not say anything about bloody clothing or anything to me. And she said that I had one, and she had me use a tampon, and ever since then, I've never...
So she had you use a tampon one
Yes.
time?
And there was spottage, I guess. I don't know why. And she's like, see, that's blood. And
that's probably...
Yeah.
She was hiding knives in our couches. She was talking about she was going to kill family members. She's standing in the middle of the room and she would say, I'm waiting for the right time. She poisoned people. She put chemicals in the coffee.
Did any of that happen?
no. She said that I hid knives on top of the fridge, under the fridge, in the cabinets, even on her office desk.
How did you get something on top of the refrigerator?
I can't even reach it. Not even with a chair, I couldn't reach it.
You can't get to the top of the refrigerator, right?
No, I can't.
You were cleaning.
Yes.
You're helping her clean.
Yes.
And she says you sprayed bleach in her coffee.
It was lemon pledge for tables.
And she actually has footage of you doing that.
So we had missed a spot. So what I did was I scooted the chair over so I could get up there, and I scooted her coffee back so I could grab the thing because it was in front of it. So I scooted it back, and I grabbed it. She came out and was like, "What are you doing?" And then she claimed that I tried to spray it in her coffee. You could look in her coffee. There was nothing.
Did you ever stand at the foot of their bed, around their bed, in their room, watch them sleep with a knife in your hand?
Coming up.
What did they say to you when they took you over there and dropped you off?
They just said, we're gonna get you an apartment and we're going to Canada.
Did you say, I'm 8?
Ukrainian orphan, child or adult sociopath. A Dr. Phil exclusive continues.
She would put thumbtacks face up on our stairs, so when we would walk up and down stairs, we would be stepping on thumbtacks. Certain things would start to become missing in the home. We would find knives under her bed. There was a moment when I woke up in the middle of the night and Natalia was standing over my bed with a knife in her hand, very blank look on her face, and she's just standing there with a knife.
Did you ever stand at the foot of their bed, around their bed, in their room, watch them sleep with a knife in your hand?
No, never.
Did you ever want to stab them?
No,
Did you ever make plans to stab them?
no. If I ever went in the room, it was to wake them up because I was either scared of a nightmare or something like that. But I never went in their room. I didn't.
But is there any reason that they would have like nanny cam footage, hidden camera footage of you standing at the end of the bed with a knife in your hand?
No.
If they had it, they would have produced it, right?
Mm-hmm.
She said you tried to push her into an electric fence.
It was the youngest birthday, so we went to the farm because he likes cows. And then we started walking. I got like a quarter of the way, and I sat down.
And
because
where were you?
It was like a trail on a farm.
Yeah.
And so I sat down because my legs hurt really bad. So Christine had Michael and the boys go up ahead of us. She sat down next to me and was like, Natalia, you need to get up. So she got up and she was helping me, trying to help me get up, but I fell again and she fell with me. And the electric fence wasn't that far from us.
So you guys fell and she said you
Yes.
tried to push her in the
Yeah,
electric
it wasn't that far.
It's terrible that they're trying to make her out to be this monster.
You have had Natalia with you for how long?
Well, 6 years, but almost 7.
Now, you two met her on the neighbor's porch.
Yes. And my friend called me and was like, you need to come down here right away. So I go over there and she said, she's telling me she's 22. Like, look at her. She's not 22. And I go, are you 22? She said, yeah. But you could tell that it was just like, yeah, because I was told,
That's
yeah.
what I'm supposed to say.
Mm-hmm. So I go, okay. And she said, I have my own apartment. And I'm like, no, you don't. And she's like, I do. And I'm like, show me. So she took me over to her house, and it was definitely her apartment. She had a bed in there. She had a TV. She had like some boxed food in her freezer. I was like, well, you know, I have a couple kids at home. Come on down. You can play with them, talk with us, whatever. So she came to our house and hung out down there, and she never left. She's been with us ever since.
Is that like you to do something like that?
We do
And you
help.
just find this random person on the street and say, come hang out with us?
Well, not typically. Yeah. We help a lot of people, but my motherly heart was like, there's no way she could take care of herself. I was like, I can't just leave her there.
How old were you at that time?
I was 8 years old, maybe almost 9.
So at 8 years old, you're living alone in an apartment.
Yes.
And you're getting your own groceries.
I actually didn't even go grocery shopping. My landlord took me to it was like a gas station or something just to pick up a couple things.
Well, where'd you get your food?
The Barnetts, they had given me like food that they didn't really eat, like canned foods and stuff like that.
And how long had you been in the apartment when you
It wasn't that long. I think maybe about a month and a half.
Okay. Well, I have a granddaughter about that age, and I can't imagine her living in an apartment by herself. What did they say to you when they took you over there and dropped you off?
They just said, we're going to get you an apartment and we're going to Canada.
Did you say, I'm 8?
I didn't know what to say. I didn't really know what was going on at first until like after it happened. Like I was confused.
Were you scared?
I was. I didn't really like want to leave the apartment, but I had to go to school.
So you went to school?
Yes.
How far was the school?
Maybe about a block away from the house.
So this is a new school?
Yes.
An adult school.
Christine, she had signed me up right after I moved in, after that day.
And then when you met her, she was in her second apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And you stayed in that first apartment for a year at 8 years old.
Yes.
It sounds like you were in a group home in the Ukraine. And you come here when you're 6. And here's what I know about children that are in group homes. They're almost always developmentally delayed. So if you come here from a group home at 6, best case, you're probably functioning at developmentally at 4 or 5. So you go into an apartment functioning at 6 or 7. A 6 or 7-year-old child living in an apartment alone for a year, that's just not believable to me. How does that happen?
Coming up.
Natalia would simply tell us very coldly and very directly, I'm trying to kill the boys.
Have any of the things that this prior family alleged that she's done happened at your home?
And later.
They say that you scammed them, lied about your age, and came over here and terrorized them.
Now we turn to Dr. Phil's exclusive interview. Ukrainian orphan, child, or adult sociopath.
The mom accused of adopting and abandoning a little girl from the Ukraine. Christine Barnett is being charged with neglect after allegedly dumping her daughter in an Indiana apartment, then moving her entire family to Canada.
So if you come here from a group home at 6, best case, you're probably functioning at developmentally at 4 or 5. So you go into an apartment functioning at 6 or 7. A 6 or 7-year-old child living in an apartment alone for a year, that's just not believable to me. How does that happen?
I think that she groomed her before she did this to have her ready for this.
But in terms of activities of daily living, health, food, stove, working with an oven, a 6-year-old child just simply doesn't know how to do the activities of daily living for independent existence.
Well, I know in the apartment when we met her, she didn't use the stove. She cooked in the microwave.
Did she teach you a routine?
She didn't really teach me like how to like take care of myself, but she did say like if someone asks you how old you are, you tell them that you're 22.
And who paid the bills?
Michael.
So all you had to do was go stay behind that closed door. Why did they want to get rid of you so badly?
I don't know.
You know, you leave one family because they say you were violent with the boy and almost broke his arm. And then you're with another family and they say, well, you tried to poison her, threatened to stab him. You've had her now for 6 or 7 years?
It's almost 7 years.
In this 6 or 7 years, have any of the things that she has been accused of doing, that this prior family has alleged that she's done, happened at your home?
No, not at all. She would get into trouble just like any normal child would. She didn't display any kind of psychotic behavior.
We've had 3 kids since she's been with us. She's been there for the delivery of one, literally in the delivery room when her brother was born. She's amazing.
What I believe is that she tried to discredit her with instability mentally. And when she could not do that, they re-aged her.
This is the conclusion I came to. Natalia needs surgeries. And I think because they have Jacob, he's autistic, and they wanted to do the college. And I feel like Christine's aim was to get rid of her because with her having her surgeries, she wasn't gonna be able to go and do everything she wanted to do because surgery is gonna hold this baby down. So I think Christine felt like it was a burden. You're not a burden to me. But I think Christine felt she wasn't even gonna be able to be this role model mother that she was until this came out.
I believe that there is something that she is hiding that she didn't want to get out. Because when we got her, the first thing she said, we got a call from Christine.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, well, take her to a psychiatric facility and get her evaluated because she's crazy and don't believe a word she has to say.
Another thing is when I was living in my first apartment, she actually had me call the police on myself. Like, she told me to call them and tell them that I wanted to hurt others and I wanted to hurt myself. And they came, they put me in handcuffs, and they took me to one of the psychiatric hospitals, and I was out that same night. They said that I wasn't crazy like she's saying and all that.
They say that you scammed them, that you lied about your age and came over here and terrorized them.
Coming up.
Here's what America's asking themselves right now. You say you're 16. Are you a 33-year-old scam artist?
Ukrainian orphan, child or adult sociopath. A Dr. Phil exclusive continues.
My wife, Christine, would take the entire family, my 3 sons, along with Natalia, downtown. Natalia had already found something that meant something very important to each of my boys. My youngest son, who was 6, was into cows, so she found his favorite cow toy. My 9-year-old son liked cars, so she found his favorite car toys. As they would be crossing a very, very busy street, she would launch everything up into the air, into traffic. They would instantly run into traffic to try to retrieve their items. Natalia would simply tell us very coldly and very directly, I'm trying to kill the boys.
They say that you scammed them, that you lied about your age and came over here and terrorized them.
It's not true at all.
And if that were true,
It's
it would have
not
been exhibited
different
with you. You haven't seen that.
Right.
And we have other children. We have a grandson. She does nothing but loves her siblings and her nephew. She has never showed any signs of those things that they say she did.
She acts just like a big sister. She makes bottles for them. She gets
She
their
helps with
clothes if
baths.
she needs
She
to. She makes them
changes
lunch
diapers.
sometimes. Yeah.
Everything that the next brother or sister would do for their siblings, she does.
Here's what America's asking themselves right now.
Okay.
Here's this obviously very nice couple, and they've got a 14-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a newborn on the way. And they're moving in a child that somebody's saying she can look okay one minute and be psychotic the next. Were you at all concerned at the time that we could be putting the children that we have in jeopardy?
We were not.
I didn't get that impression because when I seen Natalia, I looked at her physical disability as well. Just her behavior in itself did not come off in any kind of manner. And I'm usually the one that's like, hold on, wait a minute. Let's be careful about, I'm usually that type of person. I did not get that at all from her.
Yeah.
Me and my husband adopted these kids. It's like, who would do it if you don't? Who will help if you don't? We've done this with other people as well. You know, Natalia's not the first person we brought in our house like that.
You say you're 16. Are you a 33-year-old scam artist?
No. No. No, I promise you I'm not.
But you understand the inconsistencies here, because if somebody asked me, can you drop an 8-year-old child off in an apartment for a year and come back and they'll be doing fine, I would say absolutely not.
Right.
But yet that's what we're expected to believe here, that without cash, credit cards, physical abilities to do certain things, that she just functioned fine in an apartment for a year. That's hard to believe.
We get that. But when she stayed in her first apartment, they were there more. It was the second apartment. I believe if we wouldn't have met her, it would have been terrible for her.
Okay, so the Barnetts, Christine and Michael, you say had her re-aged.
Yes.
And declared 22.
22.
And you told people you were 22.
Yes.
Why did you tell people you were 22?
Coming up.
I guess it comes down to whether or not you are an evil psychopath demon child that's come over here to murder everybody.
Child or adult sociopath. A Dr. Phil exclusive continues.
Another couple is coming forward to say they wanted to adopt the child and they can prove her real age.
It's the mystery captivating the nation. Is Natalia a 16-year-old or a 30-year-old woman pretending to be a teenager? The DePauls showed me stacks of adoption paperwork that lists Natalia's official birth date. Date of birth, 9/4/2003. According to this, she's 16 years old today. Exactly. There are people out there who think she's 30.
That's ridiculous.
So the Barnetts, Christine and Michael, you say had her re-aged.
Yes.
And declared 22.
22.
And you told people you were 22.
Yes.
Why did you tell people you were 22?
That's just what I was told to say, like if someone asked how old I was. That's just what
Who told you to say that?
The Barnetts did.
The Barnetts did? And so then you go to Michigan and they do test, correct? And they came back and concluded that she was how old?
14
years old.
14 at the time, not 22.
Right.
Yeah, because they were saying that
everything from 14 to 33.
They were saying that she has growth plates. She got room where she's still growing, and she was losing teeth too when we had her. So she had baby teeth.
Now they tell us because of her dysplasia that she has, that they can't figure out the age she is. So they can't make her back to 16. How were they able to make her 22 though?
It was 3 times. I remember first it was 11 to 14, and then it was 16 to 18, and then it was finally 22.
If they claim they don't have sufficient evidence to overturn it to bring her back to a child, then why would you overturn it to bring her to an adult?
Well, here's the thing. In 2010, Children's Hospital says you're 8, not 6. 2012, the bone density test says you're 11, not 8. In 2012, the Barnett family doctor says both your bones and teeth prove you're 14, not 8. All of that, assume it's all true. She's still a child, why would she lie? So I'm saying, what's the motive for you to lie? All the tests confirm what you say within a range.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. There's this big debate about how old you are. To me, it doesn't make any difference. You're a human being that needs love and caring and nurturance. It doesn't make any difference to me if you're 43 or 14. It doesn't make any difference to you, does it?
No,
Right,
no, not at all,
absolutely.
not at
No,
all.
no,
Yeah,
no,
you're
no.
right, you're right.
But it mattered to the Barnetts, right? Why did she care?
I don't know.
I mean, if she cared about you, what difference does it make how old you are?
That makes a lot of sense what you're saying.
Yeah, if you're 8, I love you. If you're 14, I don't. So I guess it comes down to whether or not you are an evil psychopath demon child that's come over here to murder everybody.
Coming up.
There's been a page torn from Hollywood here with this movie, The Orphan. This Russian woman, is 30 years old, pretends to be a teen, gets adopted by a family, comes in, terrorizes them, and you've been thrust into that drama.
Child or adult sociopath. A Dr. Phil exclusive continues.
So I guess it comes down to whether or not you are an evil psychopath demon child that's come over here to murder everybody.
Oh my.
You're right.
I mean, you know, she's painted you as an evil sociopath. Some evil dwarf is gonna like pop up and poison their coffee or stab them in their sleep or whatever. But if that's true, I guess they brought out the worst in you because you certainly haven't tried to murder you two. Let's assume they've made all of this up. And, you know, oftentimes there's this person's version and this person's version, and the full truth is somewhere in between.
Right.
Because nobody ever gets it all correct. There's been a page torn from Hollywood here with this movie, The Orphan. This Russian woman, right next door to Ukraine, is 30 years old, pretends to be a teen, gets adopted by a family, comes in, terrorizes them, creates all this havoc. And here we've got this individual from the Ukraine that has been said to be as much as 33, comes in, terrorizes his family, and you've been thrust into that drama.
Yeah.
And if Christina has made all of this up, she wasn't very creative. She tore it from this movie.
I was just going to say that because The Orphan came out 1 year before they did this to her, literally.
But what confounds all of that is you've been 7 years with these people, no drama, no problem. So you're 16, but legally, how old are you?
30.
30.
I don't even feel 30. I am not 30.
What do you think should happen to the Barnetts? They're being criminally prosecuted. They've been charged, at least. What do you think should happen to them?
Coming up.
This is my daughter who I gave birth to. I know exactly how old she is.
Now we turn to Dr. Phil's exclusive interview. Ukrainian orphan, child or adult sociopath.
What do you think should happen to the Barnetts? Christine and Michael, they're being criminally prosecuted. They've been charged, at least. What do you think should happen to them?
I just want them to give up on the whole charade. Like, I don't want them to just keep on with this. I just want it to be over. I want them to be able to have their normal lives back after this is all over and they did their time.
So you think they should go to jail for abandoning a child, endangering a child, whatever
Well,
the charges might be?
Like, I don't want them to, but with what happened, it's not right to do that to a child. I don't want it to happen to anybody. I don't speak that on anybody. But if it did have to come to that, then they should do the responsible thing, do their time, and then get it over with and get right with God.
What do you think should happen to them?
I do believe that they should serve some time for what they did. My hope is that this will never happen to another child again.
You think it should be prosecuted?
I think they should be prosecuted and they should serve their time. I think that they should know that what they did was wrong. But above all, I want them to know that our family still loves them. We pray for them.
I just want people to know who Natalia is without somebody else trying to paint a picture of her, of who they think she is because of the media. but that she is a genuine and loving young lady who just been through a horrible situation.
The hardest thing that you have to deal with now is you don't come across as 16 years old. She was forced to grow up ahead of her time. And so you come across as much more mature than a 16-year-old.
Even when I was still a child, I kind of had a childhood, but I was bounced around from so many families that it didn't seem real. So once that happened, I really I felt like I was already robbed of my childhood, but when I got re-aged, that's when it really hit hard.
I just want to say that I love my daughter, and I'll be happy when the truth comes out.
Great. How about you?
I don't want people to see me as what they have been saying I am. I want them to see my personality. I want them to see me, not what people are saying. I don't want them to be scared to come to me and say hi because of what they read. I want them to see the genuine me, and I want them to see how my little sister and my little brother see me.
Yes.
I think you're taking a giant step in that direction today.
So thankful for this opportunity. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you giving Natalia a voice, because we know you're a big supporter of children and have done great things in that department.
Well, I'm proud to do it, and I'm very impressed with you. Very impressive young woman. Since the taping of this interview, Natalia's reported birth mother spoke to DailyMail.com and Daily Mail TV in the Ukraine. This is from their exclusive interview.
This is my daughter who I gave birth to 16 years ago. She is 16 years old. I gave birth to her on September 4, 2003 at 6:25 a.m. in the maternity hospital.
Natalia has told us she would be willing to reunite with her birth mother if I could arrange it, and that is something that we are working on. We reached out to Christine Bernett, and she declined our invitation to appear on the show. The Bernetts have both pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of felony neglect of a dependent. Michael Bernett has filed a motion to dismiss the charges against him. They are prohibited from speaking to the media pursuant to a gag order. According to court documents, the case is scheduled for a jury trial in January of 2020. We will continue to follow this story, and we will keep you updated. For more information, go to drphil.com. Thanks for watching. I hope today went okay for you.
Yeah, I'm really thankful that she was able to just let me be able to speak. I just want people to be able to hear my side as well, and not just Christine's side.
Yeah. Well, Cynthia, thank you so much. I just wish you the best. Thank you so much. Okay. Bishop, again, thanks so much, man. Keep up your work. Natalia, thank you so much. I just can't tell you how proud I am of you, okay?
Thank you.
And we'll be in touch, all right?
Okay.
All right, talk to you soon.